Reliable sources are saying that Diamond Pearl remakes are just on the horizon for 2021. The only big concern is, it's coming in Generation 8. For a lot of Pokemon fans, Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum are the best games of the series. So to have their remake come during the most controversial generation in Pokemon history, it is scary. When Pokemon Sword and Shield were very first announced in February of 2019, the community was as hype as I have ever seen. The level of excitement for these Pokemon games far surpassed any before them. And that hype stayed strong all the way up until the second trailer was revealed during a Pokemon Direct. And then people got even more excited. However, the first sign that something was wrong came 1 week later from that second trailer when Pokemon Sword and Shield was shown off at E3 2019, and people saw a lot of stuff that didn't sit well with them. Veteran Pokemon players actually stormed Game Freak employees' Twitter accounts.
I don't like that. You make this? I don't like it.
A lot of Pokemon fans that watched the demonstration hoped and prayed that these things would be fixed in the final game. When the game released, though, none of them were. In fact, some things were even worse than anticipated. Lag was still incredibly present throughout all the wild area. Every time I go into the wild area when I'm connected to the internet, I feel like I'm tripping. I need to double check myself to make sure I'm not having a stroke. The entire world freezes when you grab a hold of a ladder or a tree. If you pick up a max mushroom or an item, Dialga himself will come down from the heavens and freeze the universe in place. And oh my god, the pop-in. The pop-in in Sword and Shield is so horrible that it's hilarious. All of these things break a player's immersion in the game. These are things that absolutely have to be fixed in the Diamond Pearl remake. I'm gonna give Game Freak a pass on this one for Sword and Shield, because it was the very first time they had developed a game of this scale on the system. But for Diamond Pearl remakes, there's no excuse to have these performance issues. Back in the older generations of Pokemon, the EXP share was a held item that you could give to a single Pokemon in your party, and it would split the XP between the Pokemon you were using in battle and that Pokemon. And then in Generation 6, they overhauled the XP share to work on all your Pokemon at once. Personally, back then I didn't mind this change. To me it felt like something they did to make the games a bit easier for people. And that was okay, because if you didn't like it, you could turn it off. In Generation 8, the EXP share item doesn't exist at all anymore, and experience is shared between your Pokemon no matter what you do. If I'm going to be honest, this was the biggest disappointment I had in Sword and Shield. If I didn't want all my Pokemon gaining experience at once, I would actually have to take them all the way out of my party, and just travel with one Pokemon. This made the game far too easy. By the time you got to the next gym, all of your Pokemon were 7 levels above the gym leader's strongest Pokemon. For the Diamond and Pearl remakes, I don't expect them to take the EXP share back into a held item, but I really hope they include it in the game as a key item like it was in Pokemon X and Y and Sun and Moon. A lot of veteran Pokemon players want the option to play the games like the originals. And if all your Pokemon gain XP against your wishes after knocking out a single Bidoof, then we won't really be able to do that. At our number 3 slot, we have the original National Dex. Get the Infinity Gauntlet back out, Masuda. It's time for round 2. Now, I don't really want to get into the whole National Dex controversy of Sword and Shield here. I'm talking about the National Dex that was originally in the Diamond and Pearl Platinum games. The explanation Game Freak presented for the removal of the National Dex was because of animations and how long it took to develop the games. It would simply take too long to catch them all, so Masuda's not putting it in. One of my biggest concerns for a Diamond Pearl remake is that they would have less Pokemon in the game than Diamond and Pearl did. To me, the game would have to have the full National Dex from Pokemon Platinum, even if all the Pokemon aren't obtainable in the Sinnoh region itself. Anything less than that will feel like a lazy downgrade that Game Freak decided to do to save time. I have a feeling a lot of Pokemon fans that grew up playing the original Diamond Pearl wouldn't be happy with Pokemon from the original getting cut. I do expect them to cut Generation 5, 6, 7, and 8 Pokemon from the Pokedex altogether, but for me, they have to at least keep that original National Dex to keep the games from feeling like a cash grab. At our number 2 slot, we have Don't Overuse Dynamax. It was a great addition to Sword and Shield. The raid dens were fun to do, they came with really cool moves, Gmax forms were a fun feature, and no matter what your Pokemon was, it was always satisfying turning it into a giant glowing war machine that crushed the opponent's Pokemon.
What the fuck?
I just think Dynamax is too big of a departure from the originals. In Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Mega Evolutions were incorporated as a main part of the story, and served as the central mechanic for the game. But they didn't change the game fundamentally, and they weren't shoved in your face too often. Yeah, Groudon, Kyogre, and Rayquaza got new forms, but they were implemented into the story in a way that didn't feel untrue to the originals. You also never had to use Mega Evolution, and you never even had to put a single Mega Stone on your Pokemon if you didn't want to. Dynamax is a whole different story, however. It fundamentally changes the setting it's incorporated in. You would have to connect the Dynamax phenomenon to the legendary Pokemon. You would have to completely revamp gyms. You would have to add raid dens around the world. And you'd have to rely on Dynamax throughout most of the game. While I do like Dynamax, I have noticed the result of a game can be tied directly to it. If you Dynamax the right Pokemon at the right time, you're practically guaranteed to win. Mega Evolutions never changed the game this much. They never changed the world itself, other than having Mega Stones spread across it. I just feel like Dynamax would change the setting of the game too much. Though it would be cool to see the Torterras from the Detective Pikachu movie in the game. And taking up our number 1 spot, we have Don't Take Shortcuts on Building the Sinnoh region. The Sinnoh region, in my opinion, is the best region in the entire series. The routes were so well designed and so immersive, and it actually felt like each route was its own part of the world. The thing that concerns me most about Diamond Pearl remakes in Generation 8 is that they will inherit the hallway syndrome that came from Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Sword and Shield. For those of you who don't know, the hallway syndrome refers to the oversimplification of areas in recent Pokemon games. Most routes in Pokemon games since Pokemon Sun and Moon are incredibly linear routes, straight or slightly curved hallways that have little to explore other than what's on their main path. Game Freak started this pattern in Generation 7 when they sacrificed exploration for graphical improvements. While this doesn't bother me too much in recent Pokemon titles, I have a bad feeling that in the Diamond Pearl remakes, Game Freak will cut corners to make the Sinnoh region follow this pattern. The Sword and Shield art style is really upscaled. It would be really difficult for Game Freak to recreate Sinnoh as it was in this engine. The main solution I thought of to this is to actually have the Diamond Pearl remakes be in the Let's Go engine. Personally, I wouldn't like the art style of these games being similar to Let's Go, but if it makes it easier for them to recreate the Sinnoh region as it was, I will definitely sacrifice graphics for an accurate remake. And if Game Freak completely reworks all of these areas that fans of the original games know, just to save time, these aren't really going to feel like true Diamond and Pearl remakes. If anything, they could just end up feeling like spiritual successors.